Big Drive Energy Hump Day Wednesday edition. We're back Monday and Wednesday, 2 pods a week. You love to see it. We've got a preview of the upcoming American Express. We're going to talk about the DP World Tour coming up this weekend with Rory McIlroy. Also show some video of his comments from the past couple of days regarding the LIV guys, the Ryder Cup, and of course, Michael La Sasso joining LIV. We said this wasn't a LIV podcast, and then they just keep making waves. They just keep making waves that we feel like we need to talk about. Plus, we've got WTF Wednesday along with Mitch's player profile. All right, let's tee it up. Big Drive Energy Wednesday edition. We've got LIV Sasso, Michael La Sasso joining the LIV Tour. We'll get into all of that coming up here. For those of you watching on the YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe. I love using this little button. Like and subscribe on the YouTube. We'd appreciate that. We're matching today. Shout out Pins and Aces. We are matching. Speaking of pins and aces, my joggers still haven't came, so I don't know if you keep forgetting that or whatever. But I did let Mitchell know he could have had the easiest Christmas present ever for me and just gotten me something from his work. And instead, he bought me some cool shit. But you could have just got me some joggers because I just don't have any golf joggers, and I'm ready to go full Akshay Bhatia. I was watching him on the TGL last night, and those – I don't know. I like joggers, but seeing people wear them where they go up, like when they're like capris, like our mom used to wear, maybe taking it a bit too far.
Yeah, the Justin Thomas showing of the ankle, the ankle showing is a bit too much. But are you saying you want these waffle joggers or you want actual golf pants?
I think, well, both would be sick because I know you get a nice hand to table discount, a little free 99 action. But no, I have a pair of the waffle joggers, and I will say they are the most incredible joggers that I own because other than the fact that the waist is a little too tight for me, which is a me problem, not a jogger's problem, they're very comfortable, and they have the zipper side pocket for my Zyn can that is elite. It is unbeatable to have a zipper side pocket right there where it's not in your pocket. It's not taking up space in your pocket, but it's in your ass. It's not in your ass. It's near your ass cheeks. And you can just put your can in there and you never lose it. Because I lost one of my metal Zyn cans the other day for about 2 weeks. And I found it in the little cubby hole next to my chair in my car, next to my driver's seat. I looked down there once because I dropped another Zyn. And I looked down there and I was like, oh, looky there in my can. It was empty. If it was full, I would have found it way before 3 weeks. But
oh, for sure.
I knew it was a dead soldier.
Dude, so I got to tell you, I've played 54 holes of simulator golf since we last talked on Monday. I played 36 yesterday, and then I played 36 yesterday and then 18 today. I am on a simulator tour at this point. And you know, it's actually pretty good news. And I don't know if I'm 30 and obviously that's not old, but I feel like everyone tells you that 30 is the age where your body really starts to feel it a little bit more, like hangovers. You know, you can't just go crazy hard like you did in your 20s. And I did not believe them, but I think I actually do now. So I've been like a little like overly cautious with my body. I know that sounds fucking weird, but just not. Now I'm like afraid to run. Like I'm going to tear an ACL and I mean, realistically, when do I ever
I was going to say, you don't look like much of a runner really.
Yeah, no, but even a brisk jog, I'm like, are my calves ready? Are they up to snuff here? Like the thought of playing pickup basketball to me sounds like I would like that Tom Segura video where he breaks his leg and his arm all in one video. I feel like that. And it's really, I've never been hurt or anything. I don't know why I'm getting like scared that I'm going to hurt myself. But luckily my body feels good after making that many swings. So yesterday we played 2 league rounds, me and Steven, the other pro at Golf Republic where I teach. So him and I are on a league team. We cannot win, so we're not like sandbagging the shit out of people. But we shot for 2 scrambles. I think we shot 11 under and 13 under. So we played pretty damn good on the track, man. And then today I shot 2 over at Old McDonald in Oregon. So not anything to write home about by any means, but just playing a lot of simulator golf. And I will say as well that the new TrackMans are much, much better than the old TrackMans. Like, God, I had hair stuck to my face. It was just bugging the shit out of me. The new TrackMans are so much better at reading and actually giving you a legitimate read than these older ones that sit behind you are. I don't know if the guys on tour have the new ones, but they can sit behind you instead of above you, because obviously they can't sit above you when you're out on the range. But yeah, I have been playing a lot of golf. My new Adele driving iron is gas. I actually think my one buddy that I played with today once won because he hit mine a few times and loved it. It feels very solid. So
already making a sale?
Making sales. Just that's what I do. I wheel and deal, baby. So, but it was our buddy Dan's birthday today. So we went to the sim and played around. That was fun. You kind of mentioned it to me, but we're supposed to get an outrageous snowstorm out here this weekend while I will be in Denver. So that will be ironically funny.
Yeah, I was doom scrolling Twitter last night, and once I sent you one weather report. First of all, it was kind of hilarious because I have no clue where New Jersey is on a map. I know it's in the northeast of America, but I couldn't exactly pick out what part of America specifically it was. So I sent you the picture of the giant purple and pink clouds, which red is bad. Green, blue, it's green is fine. And then it gets to blue and it's like, and then red is bad. And then when it gets to purple, it gets to really bad. I'm seeing 1 to 2 inches of pure ice. I know people are going a little crazy with all this stuff, and meteorologists can be a little bit fear mongering sometimes, but they have said that there's a chance that certain places have weeks without power, and it's not even due to the snow. Nashville, I guess, is kind of at the center point of all of this, and they're supposed to get 20 inches of snow, which is kind of hilarious to think about. Being in Nashville and being on the main strip and thinking of snow there just doesn't really compute. But there's supposed to be a lot of snow, a lot of ice, power lines down, grids not working. I'm not entirely sure what grids means. I'm sure it's just the power of an area, but grids going down, the chance of all out disaster. And you're not in the center of it, but you're kind of on the tail end of it. And I was thinking about too, what I think looks like where your guys' beach house area was right in the center of it as well. And thinking of snow and ice there, I've only been there in June, so when I'm there, it's perfect. But thinking of that getting snow just doesn't sit well with me. It doesn't seem possible to me.
Yeah, no, I kind of think about the same thing. Like, my dumb brain pictures, I can't believe that like it snows into the ocean, like just water into water. They're just becoming one together. It just doesn't make sense to me that snow falls into the ocean. Obviously it does almost everywhere in the world, besides the tropical places. But yeah, I can't quite wrap my head around a beach getting snow either. It's just odd, but it is very pretty. Like, it is much more wintry out here than it is in Colorado. So I'm kind of thankful for that because it actually feels a little wintry. But I would say overall, they do a pretty good job clearing the roads here. Because I will definitely say that more people in general drive sedans out here than people in Colorado. But in reality, like, how many weeks of the year are you driving on roads that aren't clear? Like maybe 1 or 2, even in Colorado. Like, it's not often at all. So this last weekend, Missy's like, I don't think we should go leave the house. I'm like, you have an SUV for a reason. Like we're leaving the fucking house. We don't need to, you don't see 2 inches of snow and immediately just pack it in. That's when I like to get out and do shit. Like I love being out in the snow. That shit's fun to me. So, but people in general here when it's snowing drive like complete dog shit because there's so many like small commuter cars, kind of like mine, that are out there on the roads. And I'm like, what are you doing out here? Like, that's not a good idea. But it's, like I said, it's like a week out of the year, maybe 2 weeks out of the year where you can't really drive a sedan. And other than that, it's totally fine.
Yeah. Well, thinking about where you live and the precarious little hills and roads and right turns and left turns, it doesn't seem very apt to handle a good amount of snow very quickly. I don't think I would be driving a car anywhere outside of where you guys live, right in that area. I'd be walking places if I had to get somewhere.
You stick to the highway. You're sticking to highways when you're out here in this kind of snow because, like you said, the side roads and some of these hills, like that was one thing moving to New Jersey. I had no idea the elevation changes could be so up and down just through these random hills up in North Jersey that we live in. Like you'll get these hairpin turns, all this shit. Like you will not catch me dead in my Hyundai Elantra out there. There's been a few times where I've been just cruising on the highway and then I like hit an exit ramp and I'm like, if this exit ramp's icy, I'm going straight into the fucking barrier. Like I'm going like 70 on this exit ramp. If I hit a sheet of ice, I am hosed. But you just push right through it. I'm like a race car driver in a 2015 fucking mini sedan, just like ignore the problems and just eyes ahead. You're fucking like the parkway out here is a goddamn joke. People in New Jersey just do not know how to drive. So then you add in snow and it's just an absolute nightmare.
Yeah. We're supposed to have maybe a little bit of snow Friday, Saturday, but it's supposed to be pretty much devilishly cold on this whole weekend. Like Saturday and Sunday are supposed to be cold. We've got AFC championship game we're going to together. Really looking forward to that. Not looking forward to my tailgate before because we get an hour and a half earlier start since the games started. So we're starting at 9:30, going 9:30 to 12:30. And so I'm going to have to be out there around 7:30, 7:45, which is going to be cold. It's going to, you're
going to have the hand warmers cooking.
The hand warmers. I had the hand warmers and the toe warmers last game, and it wasn't even bad. I ended up taking my jacket off for the first half, but it's supposed to be sunny. So sunny in Denver in 28, 24, 20, whatever it ends up being at kickoff won't be too bad compared to sunny and cold or 24 degrees somewhere else with some humidity. It's really not going to be terrible.
For sure.
I'm hoping that. And since the game starts at 1 local time, we'll get sun the whole game. We won't have to be there in the dark, which will be nice.
But there's just something about a cold football game. Like something doesn't feel right to me when it's 75 degrees and you're watching football. That's just not, same with hockey. I could never go to a football or a hockey game in Florida. Like football in the southern states just does not compute to me. So
it doesn't hit for you.
Yeah, I think the weather needs to match the sport. You feel me?
Yeah.
That is one of the weirdest things when we go to Avs playoff games in like June and it's all fucking warm out and then you walk into an arena in a heavy jersey and all this shit. You're like, this does not feel like it should go until the summertime. Is there any other sport? I guess we haven't talked since the national championship. That was electric. Shout out to Florida. Absolute gamers. I mean,
you mean Indiana or Miami?
Miami. Yes, I'm sorry. Miami was I honestly thought that, what did I predict? I thought it was going to be like a 3-score game. So I came away more impressed with Miami. Ryan Russillo voice, if anyone gets that. But they just held in it. Like I thought they were going to get blown out. And Fernando Mendoza, for as corny and weird as he is, he's a dog. Like, did you see his arm just purple, basically black and blue all over the freaking place, taking hits, looking like prime John Elway out there. That run to the end zone was one of the most impressive QB runs I've seen in a minute.
Yeah, that was borderline John Elway helicopter status, and will live in lore of Indiana fans for the length of time. That was incredible. Yes. I was on Miami. I had Miami money line. I boosted it because I was like, the whole world thinks Indiana's going to win this game. And so I had Miami money line. I should have cashed out, not allowed Sid the Sloth to ruin my night at the end. I also did sprinkle Indiana to win by 1 to 6 points, which was like plus 390. So I did end up making some money back on that, but I was definitely cheering for Miami. I don't know why. Indiana pisses me off. Iowa should have beat Indiana in October, missed a field goal with 2 minutes left. Iowa was, other than Penn State, which Penn State basically beat Indiana. There was like the most insane catch of the year that ended up keeping them undefeated. They still would have made the playoff and still probably would have made the same run, not being undefeated. But Iowa played them so well, and it just chaps my ass that Iowa was so close, and all 4 of their losses were just big, very close losses to big teams, popular teams, good teams, where you feel like 10-2 or 11-1 was on the table, and it just got swept out from under us. But yeah, there's always next year. I'm already looking forward to next year.
We're on to next year. I will ask you though, are you a guy that roots for your conference? Like, we're Big Ten quote unquote fans. It doesn't sound like you do. And no. I think it's kind of weird that people root for other teams in their conference just to say how good the conference is. Like, I think that shit's lame. I think those are a lot Miami more to say that like the ACC is good, because it's fucking not. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. To me, it's a lot more of people that don't have professional sports in college, like when their college is part of a bigger conference where, a lot of people like the SEC people, there's like SEC people, and there's a Big Ten people, and there's ACC people. That's like a thing. Versus in the NFL or whatever, I'm not an AFC guy. Like, if the Broncos lose to the Patriots, I'm going to be cheering for the Seahawks or cheering for the Rams. Actually, Patriots, Seahawks, I won't have a real rooting interest in that, to be honest with you. I won't. I can't get over what the Patriots did to us for years, and I can't get over what the Seahawks did to us in the Super Bowl. So I might be hate watching that.
The Seahawks feel like a completely different team at this point.
Well, they all are. I mean, everybody's like talking about, the Patriots can't win in Denver. Yeah, it was fucking Brady. Like, it's not. It was the best defense of all time in 2015. Or one of them. So,
but
all these comparisons of what the teams, the franchises were like 10 years ago to now is.
Yeah.
I mean, Bo Nix was probably in diapers, and Drake May, they were probably in diapers the last time this game happened.
Well, speaking of those kinds of stats, didn't you say that Malachi Toney was 11 when Carson Beck committed to Georgia?
Yeah, that's facts.
That's fucking crazy. Like,
yeah.
And talk about one of the most talented dudes in all of sports. He had a similar run to like what Jeremiah Smith had last year, where all of a sudden he's this can't miss dude. I feel like we didn't hear that much from Smith this last year, but he's still going to be. Is he coming out this year? Do you know?
Is that the
wideout from Ohio
State? No, I don't know. There's a wideout from Ohio State that's projected to go in the top 5 of the NFL draft, but I don't think it's him.
Tate or something like that?
I think it's Tate. Yeah. Cardinal Tate, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Yeah. Well, and one other thing I was going to mention before we hop into the golf here, I love the narrative that all these Patriot fans are like, easiest route to the Super Bowl ever. Like, it's, a lot of them are already counting their chickens. And then there's 2 sides of it. Cause like you said, some of them are like, we can't win in Denver. Well, you're not wrong, but that's not the same team. I just think that overall they're getting a little cocky for an AFC championship game with a serviceable backup. It's not like if Drake May puts the ball on the ground 3 times, we're winning that football game. Like this, that is not going to be the same as the Texans. We're not turning it over 5 times, 6 times, whatever. So they got to come correct. We're not fucking around here.
Yeah. Well, it's funny that you say that, because I feel like it's been the other way, where a lot of Patriot fans see that it's Stidham. They know Stidham pretty well from them drafting him, and he was supposed to be the heir apparent to Brady at one point, and they know what Stidham can do. But I think I feel like I've heard a lot of people are almost going the other way, where they're less cocky knowing it's Jared Stidham versus if it was like Drake May versus Bo Nix, everybody'd be like, oh, Drake May is better. We're going to dominate this game. Bo Nix isn't shit. And now that it's Stidham, some of them are like, I don't know, backup quarterback, kind of scary. And I mean, let's just be real here. Sean Payton's going to have to be in his bag. It's the only way. It's the only way, especially with all the receivers that are hurt. It's going to have to be the Cortland Sutton, Evan Ingram, Marvin Mims show, and Stidham's going to have to just launch.
Ball. Yeah. I kind of feel similar about the NFC Championship game where Sam Darnold's really going to have to like shit down his leg for the Seahawks to not win that game, in my opinion. Like the Rams, because the Seahawks pass rush is really good. Their defense is so suffocating that I just don't see the Rams completely going off on their defense. So, and the Seahawks offense is just very solid. They've got a good line. They've got, it basically comes down to Darnold. They've got all the other talent on both sides of the ball. But there is still that thing in the back of your mind that's like, what if Sam Darnold turns into, 2021 Jets Darnold and can't fucking hit the broadside of a barn, So who knows? But I do think it'll probably be Seahawks on the NFC side. And Seahawks Broncos, I mean, I don't know. If we do make the Super Bowl, it'll piss me off even more that Stidham is our quarterback just because. But then again, if we beat the Patriots, I might have a pretty good feeling about Stidham after Sunday. So everything can just change so quickly. It's hard to even say what we're going to be feeling after that.
Yeah, well, and I do think, though, that the Rams, I think a lot of people are going to put a little too much stock into their offense not looking great in Chicago, which it didn't. And granted, I don't know. I was going to check the weather in Seattle this morning, and I hadn't done it.
I'll check. But
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if, the Rams offense is so fucking good. And everybody's going to be a little down on them because of their performance in Chicago, and Chicago's not that great of a defense. But I think the Rams are poised to just come out and go gangbusters, even on a Seahawks defense that is good, very good. But they play each other twice a year.
44 and partly cloudy in Seattle.
Oh, yeah. See, I really think Stafford, I don't think he's going to look near as bad as he looked in the Bears game because of how cold and terrible the conditions were. That throw he made to Devontae Adams on one of the last drives, maybe one of the best throws and catches of all time.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Speaking of things that can change quickly, Michael La Sasso going to LIV was definitely not something that I expected. And it raised a lot of good questions, I felt like, on social media. So let's get into that a little bit because we had, who was it? Now I'm just having a complete fucking brain fart. Well, that's Michael La Sasso, aka the Big Dumper. If you haven't seen this dude on social media, he's got a complete ass on him. He wears
big shallow.
Yeah. Who somebody calls him Daisy Dukes because he's always wearing short shorts, and they're pretty fucking tight on him.
Maybe that's the reason he went to LIV, and he just couldn't stand the pants anymore.
Well, no, dude. Shorts. Everyone has forgotten that LIV is now required to wear pants.
Oh, have they?
I think they changed that rule to it. I think it's pants. I think part of the official world golf ranking. You have to wear pants in order to get points. Biggest fucking joke ever. But here's a tweet from Graham McDowell, which if you don't know him, because he's in LIV now, so you probably haven't heard his name in the better part of a decade, but former US Open champion, one of the better players ever to come out of Ireland. He tweeted, hot take, but LIV is a legitimate pathway for a young potential superstar who can get paid to be mentored in their young careers by tour greats and play a guaranteed schedule. The road to the PGA Tour is increasingly perilous and littered with great talent that never made it. So give me your thoughts on that, because I've definitely got some thoughts.
Yeah, so what kind of hit me in that tweet was the thought of a guaranteed schedule. That was one of the things that stuck out to me when you really thought about it. We just had Davis Bryant on a couple weeks ago, and he qualified for the DP World Tour through Q School, but to this, it was early January or last part of December, we were talking to him and he had an idea of 5 to 10, maybe 12 events he was going to play in. And from that on, he's like, well, if I play good, I can play in this event, and then I can qualify for these events, and then I can get into potentially a major by qualification. Like, there was a lot of different steps he had to take just to get into play in these events. And while the LIV Tour, being a shotgun start, having the music on, obviously not the buttoned up PGA Tour that everyone is used to seeing over the past 100 years up until LIV Golf came around, was they get a guaranteed schedule on that tour. They know exactly what they're playing in. They know exactly when it is, where it all is. They set it up to not be around the majors, and it does make sense. And I think we've kind of seen it with, remind me of, was it the US? So is Michael La Sasso the US AM champion? Or the national or NCAA champion. But then the US amateur champion from the year before has also joined LIV. I'm blanking on the guy's name right now. I'm sure you'll come up with it.
Del Stellar.
Yes. So basically they're changing their ways, and instead of trying to they've already got plenty of washed up tour guys. And when I say washed up, I say that in a little tongue in cheek. These guys are still, I mean, Dustin Johnson's still one of the better players in the world when he's at the top of his game. Same with Brooks Koepka, who's now on the PGA Tour. Same with Bryson DeChambeau, Graham McDowell, Ian Poulter. There's all the guys that are on the LIV Tour now were tour vets that have moved over to the LIV Tour as kind of like I don't want to go play on the Champions Tour right now. And this is a fun new way to also make a shitload of money. Let's be honest. They're making a ton of money. So these younger guys, just like Graham said, they can go over to the tour. Michael La Sasso is joining Phil Mickelson's team, Phil Mickelson, the high flyers, baby. High flyers up. Phil Mickelson is one of the greatest players of all time and was number 2 to Tiger Woods. You know, if Tiger Woods' career was in a different era, Phil Mickelson might have been the best golfer from 2000 to 2020 or 2015. Like, he was right up there with Tiger Woods. So it is an interesting take on it, but I think the guaranteed schedule is what set me, like, when I heard that, I was like, yeah, that's right. Because La Sasso, and I'm sure we'll get into this too, I think the biggest shock for everyone was that he's turning down his Masters invite. So that was the biggest shock for, I think, just the general public of like 90% of people that are listening to this pod or just pay attention to golf. Going to Augusta is a dream come true. And you can win the lottery and go. I can go because I'm PGA, no big deal. I don't know. Actually,
it truly poses the question to him. Would you take, say, $20 million over a Masters invite? And obviously he chose the money, but there's a big segment of golf Twitter out there that would disagree. And that just goes to show you how stupid they are, because they would rather play Augusta for 4 rounds and take $20 million.
Maybe 2 rounds.
Yeah, probably 2. I mean, you get the par 3 in there, so you get an extra 9 and a couple practice rounds. So, you know, maybe 108 golf holes, or I think that's a number of divided by 18. Yeah, I think that's 6 rounds, if I'm not mistaken. But anywho, or no, that's 108 is not. It's 98.
98
is, there we go. That's
98
rounds.
is 5 rounds.
98 is 6 rounds.
72 holes is 4 rounds. So 82, 92.
It is 108. No, I take it back.
Oh, 108. Yeah, 7 rounds.
108 is okay. Yep. 6 rounds. 36 plus 72 correct. Is 108. Okay.
Yep.
Wow. We're not a math podcast either, apparently. Holy shit. But yeah, I think it's pretty wild that you make this jump before your Masters invite. And that is my biggest gripe with the situation, is obviously the money's guaranteed. That's great. Like that puts him, I want to say inside the top 125 of all-time money earners. Say he made $20 million. That would put him just outside the top 100 of PGA Tour earners all time. So he's already guaranteeing himself that money. But the area I don't get it from, and, you know, I guess he's selling while the stock is high on himself, but why not at least take a shot at Q School? Like, have one more year, take a shot at Q school. If it doesn't work out or you end up on the Corn Ferry, make the jump. Like, but that it just, you're avoiding playing the best competition in the world, which is all the Corn Ferry Tour guys that are your age or a little older that are trying to make it on the PGA Tour. And like, if you can't get through the Corn Ferry Tour, then what the fuck are you even doing? Like, and I make it sound like so simple, and it's really, really hard, but he is a top 10 amateur in the nation. And to Graham McDowell's point, there has been a lot of very successful college players, young juniors that look super promising and never amount to anything because they can't make that jump. So I don't know. It's a very two sides of the coin thing. I just wish we could have seen him play one Masters similar to the former USAM champ, playing one Masters, give it one go at Q school. I'm sure he had exemptions out on the PGA Tour. He'd have gotten sponsors invites, all of that. So I don't know if it was just a really rich offer or what, but I will say that La Sasso makes them, LIV was trending very similarly to like an old Lakers team where the names, Phil is like Kobe in his later years, where he still attracts the eyeballs, but the talent, the raw game is just not quite there. And that's like them bringing over Luka Doncic. That's an extreme version, but
no, Bryson is Luka, but this is like bringing on
Austin Reeves.
Yeah, this is something like that where it's like a, you know, digestible product on the golf course, but also a kid that you think could be a top 10 player in the world maybe at some point if all falls his way. And that's where, so remind me, I know PGA Tour U, the top 10 kids from college get to go to the PGA Tour, but that's very much kind of like Davis Bryant, right? Where it's very much an abbreviated schedule where you still have to like you would get to play it's not a full tour card, correct?
Yeah, I mean, you definitely don't get a full schedule, but you get, I forget where they fall in the order of merit, but it is relatively high because obviously you have to make it tempting enough for these guys to want to go do it rather than like, oh, I'm only getting 5 tour starts. Why would I just go elsewhere? So I think they are guaranteed at least probably a dozen events, which is not that much, relatively speaking, to like the 30-some events that they play on the PGA Tour. But yeah, it definitely is not. It's still an opportunity. Like, look at what Jordan Spieth did. He got a couple, and Jordan Spieth is a special case because he won like his first PGA Tour start, which I don't know if La Sasso is capable of that or not. But it is just an interesting avenue to take. Like, well, and you know, time will tell. This is kind of the first signing of this type that they've made with a really good amateur. And maybe the other USAM right out of college, right out of ASU was another kind of a big signing. But I think it hits home a little bit more for Americans because we've heard about La Sasso. Oh,
and that's
Luis
who
Ballester.
Yeah, and that's who I was talking. Yeah, and that's who I was talking about when they signed him. It was like, oh, you can tell that they're what, you know, there's reports that guys are turning it down. Akshay Bhatia, other guys that have been reported to turn it down. Tommy Fleetwood came out yesterday and said LIV hasn't even talked to him this offseason. So they're quickly changing their focus to going to get guys where they can give him a guaranteed paycheck. And, you know, La Sasso's dropping his amateur status immediately. He's going to play a full, and I say that in quotes for those of you listening, tour level schedule, professional tour level schedule, and he's getting a guaranteed paycheck off the hop. And you hope it doesn't ruin his game. But at the same time, what Graham was alluding to, and if you pull that back up, that thread, because I want you to know what Michael came from. But real quick, the PGA Tour University qualifiers don't get a set number of events. They earn status. So number one player on PGA Tour U can earn a PGA Tour card. Quote, it says, depending on year/rules, top 2 through 5 are exempt into Corn Ferry and final stage of Q school. And then 6 through 20 are exempt to PGA Tour Canada/America's second stage of Q school and get conditional Corn Ferry membership. So that's what you're looking at is if you finish number 1, you can earn a PGA Tour card. So, and it's one of those things where you talk about this a lot. And if you played a real amount of golf, a ton of golf, you know this. even if you're a 20 handicap, you're a scratch golfer, whatever, anybody can relate to this. Sometimes you just go through phases in golf where you feel like you can't make any mistakes. And sometimes you feel like you never played before and you're completely lost out there. And I get that feeling quite a bit sometimes when I'm out on the golf course. And La Sasso's he's not going to take that risk, that even though he is the NCAA champion, tomorrow or the next couple of PGA Tour events, he gets into them and he gets sponsors exemptions and he doesn't make any cuts. You lose your confidence. You're all this. Now he's going to go play, hit and giggle on the LIV Tour and 12 to 14 events and get paid a healthy sum to do it. And now it looks like he'll be able to forge a way back to the PGA Tour when he's 23, 24, 25, if he wants to.
Yeah. I mean, that is, but see, therein lies the issue is LIV becoming a stepping stone? And I definitely think that's not what they want to be, but LIV is either going to be a stepping stone or the pasture where old cows go fucking chew their cud for the last 10 years of their career, make a paycheck, and then ride off into the sunset.
It's a college or it's a retirement home.
Yeah. Yes.
It's not your home that you live in when you're 30.
House. Yes. The PGA Tour is your primary home, and the frat house and the old folks home is the LIV Tour. But Michael Kim replied to that Graham McDowell tweet and said, I don't disagree, but the PGA Tour is one of the purest meritocracies in sports. And if you're good enough, you'll end up playing on tour. If you're never made it, you just weren't good enough. And I kind of agree. There's so much more nuance to it, but statistically speaking, you go shoot the numbers, you get on the PGA Tour. That's just, there's things that happen in people's lives. There's relationships, there's health, there's a million different things and reasons why people never made it to the tour. But ultimately, if you play well enough in the correct events, and not even in the correct events, you go sign up for Q School, you get through Q School, you play well enough to earn a tour card through through the Korn Ferry, you're on the PGA Tour. So I do agree with that. And it just feels a little bit to me like La Sasso isn't betting on himself. It being that young of an age to immediately, it would be like, this is an equivalent to me, like the first draft pick in the NFL getting a fully guaranteed max deal. Like what kind of motivation does that dude have to go out and push further in his career? So maybe he can get a bigger contract with LIV, in however many years when that contract's up, I guess. But to hand a young person that sum of money right off the bat, I feel like is definitely a demotivation. I can say personally, if somebody handed me 20 million right now, I would go fuck off for the rest of my life. There's no questions asked. That's not even a thought. So obviously these guys are built different. They're athletes. They want to compete. But at the same time, you can't tell me that he's going to have the same motivation with that money already in his pocket than a kid that's got a handful of sponsors exemptions. Sure, plenty of sponsorship money. He's a national name, blah, blah, blah. But you can't tell me he's going to be as motivated on the LIV Tour. And I could be 100% wrong. That's just the take that I have on it.
Yeah, no, I don't think you're wrong. He's not a hungry dog anymore. He's been fed. He's ready to just chill on the back porch.
Yeah, and it went straight to his ass. It all
went.
He's
a heckin' chunk, quads and ass.
He does have it. Well, and let's talk about this golf swing too, because he's got one of.
It is quite the move.
I don't know how sustainable that is long term. It's Joaquin Neiman, but with a pause at the top, and even a little bit more robotic looking. Would you agree with that? Have you seen his swing?
To me, it's I feel like I'm having a seizure in the middle of his swing. I feel like whatever screen I'm watching it on is glitching.
Yeah. I mean, his hips at impact are stupid open. They're basically facing the target. His upper body is not facing the target. It's just right. His right side is bending about 40, 50 degrees to the fucking right. His head is like this at impact. He's got, and he doesn't look that flexible. He doesn't look Gumby like Joaquin Neiman does, where it feels sustainable. He's kind of built like a linebacker. he's a little bit of a thicker dude. He's not super limber and tall and skinny. So I don't know how sustainable that move is long term. And it just feels like, this is not a knock, but his swing feels like the epitome of what everyone wants their swing to look like from an aesthetic standpoint. That's why it's gone viral on TikTok, Instagram, because it looks very aesthetically pleasing. All the positions are correct. The backswing, impact, the follow through is super wide, super up and around him. Like, everything looks very good. So and obviously it's translated to results thus far, but can it take him to the pinnacle of the LIV Tour, put him on that podium with like the F1 drivers popping the champagne? It's just a very, like, just like you said, when we thought we were done talking about LIV for a while, here's this signing. So, and I'll ask you this, because I also obviously have a take. Would you tune in now to LIV to watch La Sasso, or does it still not matter?
No, it still doesn't matter. To me, it's going to be interesting to see how he plays out there, but it's more of when I see someone go to the LIV Tour, it's more of a, which is a selfish thing. And even Michael Kim, I think, tweeted golf is a selfish sport in general, but it's a move for him, but not for his brand or for his fan base. You know what I mean? Like, you have a chance when you go to the PGA Tour to gain a ton of fans by people that just watch, like us and a lot of people out there in golf that just watch the PGA Tour to watch it. There's golf on 4 days a week. You're tuning in, you play well, and people are like, oh, I like this guy. This guy's been fun. Nobody's going to do that with the LIV Tour. You're going to either pay attention to Michael La Sasso because you know who Michael La Sasso is and you have a rooting interest in it, or, there's probably a handful of groups out there that just watch the LIV Tour. There's Twitter accounts, Liver and Onions and shit like that just follow LIV Tour around. But overall, it's really not. It's to be determined whether it's great for his actual golf game and whether he becomes a major champion at some point or even gets into the majors once these world golf ranking points start to accrue. But he's never going to get a sponsor's invite to any of that. He's obviously turning down his master's invite. So very interesting to see where it goes, because I don't think there's like 5 guys on the tour right now that if they made the jump to the LIV Tour, I'd be a little more inclined to pay attention and say, hey, I'm going to tune in for this guy. And it's like Scottie obviously would be hilarious. Will never happen. But Scottie is one of them. And then there's a few other guys, maybe a Rory, maybe a Shane Lowry. There's just a handful of guys that I would actually follow and make LIV Tour appointment television. But I'd still take 90% of regular tour events, even the shittier, smaller ones, and the drama and the excitement of it and the comfortability of it. I think that's still part of it too. I like the golf courses. We've seen them play them year after year after year. We obviously have some money invested in these. We bet on them. So there's a lot of different factors that go into it, but I'm not going to tune into the LIV Tour to see La Sasso now. No, it's not a draw for me. It's a draw for their tour in general and a new kind of preferred avenue of where they're going to get and how they're going to get players in order to keep it alive.
Okay. Yeah. No, I mean, I would definitely agree with you there. If he's in contention against a big name, like, I don't know all the high flyers, but I might tune in for a few holes. It's just, no matter what, it feels like if people are tuning in for Bryson or for Phil or for Tyrrell or for John Rahm, there's no one else they can sign that. It feels like LIV is kind of somewhat capped out at their audience. They've got these kind of oddball people that want to go against the grain, that think the PGA Tour sucks, that want a change, similar to like Greg Norman, why he kind of did what he did. But ultimately, I don't see it growing, substantially more. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, it's kind of topped out. You got the Anthony Kim story, which a lot of people are, very invested in, or if you grew up watching him, you're kind of, I tune in to see how he's, he made the qualifying and ended up making it as a free agent or a wild card, if you will, going into this year. So there's a few guys out there, but overall, just not the same. And real quick, let's hit this. I want to hit this, this Rory McIlroy comment, because he had some comments about LIV players and making it onto the LIV Tour, basically essentially what they can do to play in the Ryder Cup. And he was asked about Jon Rahm and Tyrrell Hatton specifically paying their fines to remain eligible for the Ryder Cup. And here's what Rory had to say.
Rory, just in terms of the Ryder Cup, would it just be easier for Rahm and Hatton to pay their fines? They could probably afford it.
Yeah, absolutely. My thing is, look, this is my opinion. We went really hard on the Americans last year about wanting paid to play the Ryder Cup. And we all sat up there and said that we would pay to play in Ryder Cups. There's two guys that can prove it.
Did you see the first reply of Rory's such a douche?
Yes. Yes, I did.
That was pretty funny. But yeah, like he said, they can prove it. And I'm just done with Rory sitting at a podium, and I think he's probably done with it as well. He's got to be sick of this shit. I'm sure he's done talking about LIV. They got Brooks back. He said his piece. I'm just ready to move on from all of this shit. Just can everyone play nice in the sandbox for one fucking day? My God.
Yeah, exactly. Well, speaking of moving on, we are going to also move on to our American Express preview coming up this weekend. Second PGA Tour event of the year, the Sony Open. I think obviously Chris Gotterup, shout out to him. Great week for him to get his 2026 kicked off the right way. But this is kind of the first real tour event, meaning Scottie Scheffler's in the field. They go Bear, a lot of guys making their debuts. And it's one of the more fun tour events to watch because I think there's only 2 or 3 tour events in general that play at multiple courses. So it's a 3-day event before the cut, and then the cut's on Saturday, and then everybody will tee it up on Sunday at PGA West. But 3 different golf courses, very much a birdie fest, kind of like the Tournament of Champions Century used to be, and it was no longer this year. May come back, may not, but you're expecting a winner in the 24 to 30 under par range. Playing, like I said, 3 different golf courses. One is a lot easier than the others. So usually, I haven't looked into first round leader bets, but I would imagine.
I think it's La Quinta Country Club is the easier one.
Yes, La Quinta. Anybody playing La Quinta will have the lowest scores of the day by far.
Yeah, they're all similar, very deserty style courses. I don't know why we've never tried to go out to Palm Springs to play golf. I feel like we should do that at some point. I just feel like it's not that easy to get to. I could be wrong. I really don't know. But these courses look unbelievable. Just very pure desert golf, very similar to Arizona. But yeah, it's a fucking birdie fest. So we've definitely tried to take that into account with our picks. Historically speaking, this tournament has done very well for long shots. So it's very rarely a chalky. Now, Scottie Scheffler could come in and change that and just boat race everybody. But I would even say Scottie's not the kind of dude that, don't get me wrong, far and away best player in the world right now, or close to far and away. But the best player handily, I don't see him shooting 30 under very often for 4 days. Like, he is very good in hard conditions, but I don't feel like he's that guy that also goes stupid crazy low. Because he's just kind of stays in one gear where a lot of guys are up or down. He feels much more consistent. Now, he's going to, like, I would bet my firstborn child that he would finish in the top 10 because that's just what he does every week of the PGA Tour. But can he go shoot, 3 rounds of 64 to win this event, or 3 rounds of 65? But the 3 courses, so Pete Dye Stadium course, I think is the toughest of the courses. Well, the Nicklaus and the Dye are both very tough. Not very tough, tougher. But the Dye course measures 72.10 and a par 72. And also, will you look up real quick what elevation Palm Springs is at? Because I'm just curious how much more distance they get out there. But Pete Dye's 7,200. La Quinta's 7,000, a little over 7,000, par 72. And then
it says here the elevation of La Quinta, California is generally around 56 to 135 feet. So it's
damn. Oh, okay. You see all the mountains in the background and you think that they would be up slightly in elevation. And then the Nicklaus course is a par 72, 71, 47. So all kind of similar distances.
PGA West, the Greg Norman course, built on an ancient seabed, is around 40 feet below sea level.
Oh, wow. So it's
while other courses like the
Valley.
Nicklaus Tournament course sit at a low near sea level of 7 feet of elevation. So we're sea leveling it out.
They might get like at least 0.1 of a yard with that 7 feet above elevation, or 7 feet above elevation, 7 feet above sea level. But should we hop into my player profile? Because this is a kid that probably more people know his name. Some people still don't. And I think he could be a possible top 10 bet this week, is his odds. A lot of these rookies, any of these rookies that I talk about, none of them are coming out at plus 1,500 to win a PGA Tour event. They're all pretty long odds. You'll have to check.
Nick Dunlap won this event 2 years ago, and he's still plus 20,000.
I mean,
but yes, let's hop into the player profile before we get to our picks. Player profile
by Sergeant Miggs. So this week I am profiling, and I sent you a picture. I don't know if you're able to pull it up or not.
You sent it to me, and it was an AVIF.
Well, what the fuck is that?
Oh, it's just a
PGA. It's just an image from the PGA Tour's website.
Oh yeah, well that's like you're sending like a website. Let's tell the folks what his name is, and I'll get this handled on the back end.
I already said it. His name is David Ford.
You did not say that.
Okay, I didn't. He is 20. I want to say 23. I should know this. Here we go. God damn it! I got to pull his player profile back up. I've got some facts in some different places. I've got some Google, some this, some that. Not the clearest image in the world.
No, that was just quick. That's quick.
No, that's fine.
Lefty.
He's a southpaw. So he is 23 years old. I was correct. Good on me. He plays out of Peachtree Corners, Georgia. So I think that is a suburb of Atlanta, probably the rich part, I would assume, because he grew up as a member at Atlanta Athletic Club, where they played the Tour Championship. Shocker, another silver spooner. You're not going to see very many ragtag fucking dudes coming up through the ranks, getting out there on the PGA Tour. A lot of these kids are pretty wealthy. So he's 5'8", not the tallest dude in the world. He's a lefty. And he went to UNC Chapel Hill, so University of North Carolina. Shout out the Tar Heels. Never was a big fan, but the crazy part is how good he is. Truly one of the best players in collegiate golf, and I don't think he's earned a full-time PGA Tour card. It is kind of funny that I'm doing a player profile and I don't have a lot of guaranteed facts on this dude.
You're going to have to prepare this a little earlier, maybe do a little note card on this guy, a little notes app.
Well, so I mean, I've got a lot of things right here in front of me, but they're kind of more sparsed out and random. So he's from Peachtree Corners. He went to Rivers Academy High School in Alpharetta, which for some reason that Alpharetta kind of rings a bell to me as a location of, maybe it's a golf course, maybe it's where Atlanta Athletic Club is. But some fun facts about him: he is a triplet. So he's got a brother. And the reason do you remember when we were at the US Amateur at Cherry Hills 2 years ago?
Yes. And there was 2 Fords, right?
Yeah. David and Maxwell, not very Westerfield type of Clark Westerfield, waspy, wealthy Southern type of name. But Maxwell also actually played 2 years at Georgia and then transferred to UNC and plays on their team. So him and his brother got to play on the same college team together. And then they also have a sister named Abigail. So she's also part of the triplet, part of the I was going to call it a throuple, but that's not the right thing. And David is the only left-handed one. So, because when he rolled through and then his brother rolled through, I'm like, I was like the Spider-Man meme. I thought they're the same dude, but apparently Maxwell is 4 inches taller than David. So Maxwell's 6 feet. David is 5'8", must be the better looking one, similar to our situation. But the craziest part, really, like, there's not much. He's a God-fearing young man. Definitely looks very religious. I mean, his Instagram bio is a supporter of God or something like that. But he is far and away the best collegiate player. I see you looking up at the rafters like you're already bored with this. Let's read off some of his accomplishments just from this last year, because he is one of the most decorated college players, probably almost of all time. So he holds the UNC scoring record for all-time scoring average of 70.13. So he's averaging probably 2 under par. His score to par throughout his college career is 162 under par. Pretty fucking salty. Average score to par per round, UNC record of 1.13 under par. A few of the crazier stats. Rounds in the 60s, set an ACC record. He has 66 rounds in the 60s in his collegiate career.
That's crazy.
Yeah. 2025 National Award winner, the Fred Haskins Award, the 2025 Jack Nicklaus Award. He was a 4-time All-American, 3rd team his freshman year, 1st team sophomore, 3rd team junior, and then back to the 1st team his senior year. 2-time ACC Player of the Year, 4-time All-ACC player, freshman All-America in 2025. That, I guess, it's just All-America. Okay, so he won the 2025 road to the PGA Tour, or the PGA Tour University standings. So he is the one guy who's got full-time status. And I did kind of cherry pick him, but I wanted to do a little bit more research just on him and see a little bit more of what his story was. So his dad did play golf at Georgia State. His name is Patrick, and he is actually, so his dad played golf at Georgia State. And then I don't know what his dad did for a living, but he helped fund the academy that his sons, David and Maxwell, went to in high school. So his dad kind of like built the school that they went to. Shocker. In the golf academy that they attended throughout their high school years. That's really kind of it. Not very many like fun facts on him. It all seems pretty buttoned up. He's represented the United States in the Walker Cup, the Palmer Cup, the World Amateur Championship. His first PGA Tour start was in 2023, where he made the cut. And I actually did watch a YouTube video with him that I think he was playing against like Garrett Clark or Grant Horvat. And I think he almost broke 60 that day, like just walked out there and shot like 61 just in this YouTube golf round. And he hits it relatively long. His Titleist average, Titleist released the numbers, so it might be a little juiced up, but his average distance off the tee is 312 for a dude that sits at 5'8", pretty long. And I would say he's probably one of the most accurate guys out there as well. His strokes gained accuracy off the tee was tops in college last year and seems to be tops so far in his early professional career. So that is kind of the rundown on David Ford. Let's see what he is real quick. You want to filibuster it for a second? Because I want to see what he is to top 10 this week for any of those out there. He could be the Nick Dunlap of this year. Like he could come out
looking for a massive dart throw and a huge payday. I do remember, because when you said that name, when you said David Ford, I was like, that rang a bell from going to Cherry Hills and seeing them play and thinking it was the same guy, but seeing one guy was left-handed, one guy was right-handed. And I believe at least one of them made it pretty dang far in the event, because we went the last day and one of the guys was, I want to say, playing in the championship match or
David. I think David made it to the Final Four. And then got knocked out, I think, in the Final Four. So he had a very good showing there as well. But David is plus 25,000 to win, plus 3,000 to top 10, and plus 1,300. I'm sorry, plus 3,000 to top 5, plus 1,300 to top 10. So a little sprinkle for you. Not a terrible bet by any means. And this is actually kind of funny. So guess who else is top plus 25,000 to win the event?
Our boy Hubs.
There's a couple big names. Isaiah Salinda is plus 25,000, not a big name, but Tony Finau and Tom Kim also both plus 25,000 to win this event. So, David Ford is in relatively high company. He's widely known as the best collegiate player to come out this year. So he's going to be a guy that you see near the top of the leaderboard at some point this year. He's just got that much game.
Love it. So we're 0 for 1 on player profile made cuts. Hopefully David Ford can split that deficit in half. We're going to hop into our picks for the American Express this weekend. Lo and behold, both -3 units. Did hit nothing last week. But I also added our one and done in there. So we're going to be able to track that and see how those guys are doing. I had a miscut. Mitchell had a T40. So not a hot start. Somebody picked the winner. Did you see that in the email recap? I was like, of course, somebody's already $1.6 million ahead of me, is sitting at a crisp 0. But I am throwing a literal dart here. I kind of was just scrolling through everybody between plus 6,000 and plus 9,000 to win. So this is not based at all. This is,
Adam Scott played relatively well last week, some sort of form. Completely
off the cuff. Adam Scott plus 8,000 to win it. Ben Griffin, he is the favorite minus Scottie on the entire board, but he's still plus 450 to top 5. And then I got that boosted. Shout out Bet365 app where I do all my golf betting. I got that boosted, so it's actually plus more like 550. And then our boy Mark Hubbard, he was T13 here last year. Plays well at I was reading a lot and doing research, and it was like the easy courses on the PGA Tour, which is just a hilarious thought in general, but easy for these guys. So Mark Hubbard plus 600 to top 20. And then my one and done is Taylor Pendrith. And ironically, Taylor Pendrith comes up in a lot of models that I was looking through, but he's missed the cut here 3 straight times. So I'm going like fully on. Normally my research is like, how good did this guy play here last year? How good did he play here 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago? And then kind of zeroing in on one of those guys. This guy has no shot to make the cut. So I'm taking him, no shot to make the cut as my one and done pick.
That's it feels like you're just firing from the hip this week, but since when does research help us? How has it helped us thus far? So this is more some social media picks as well. Harry Hall played well last week, so I got him to win plus 4,000. He is a birdie machine. He putts it very well, and you got to make putts to shoot 30 under. So I do like him.
Well, and this is the tournament that famously was called the putting contest by John Rahm before he bounced to the LIV Tour.
Yeah, so I love that for me because Harry's a great putter. Another very good putter who likes to compete when the scores are low is JT Poston. So I got him plus 550 to top 10, which I like a lot. And then Michael Kim, I said in my bold predictions this year that Michael Kim was going to win a tour event.
High level, I think was the term.
No,
bigger?
I said mid-level.
Mid-level. But this is, I would consider this. You have the majors, and then you have the 8 signature events, and this would be competing right below those for best tour events, I think.
See, I feel like it's definitely significantly below that. I do not think this is more of this tournament strikes me as more of a warm-up. Like these first 2 weeks are a bit of a warm-up, and then the real golf, in my opinion, starts next week. So I could be wrong there, but that's how I feel about the American Express. This is a little bit more of a hit and giggle. It used to be the Bob Hope like Pro-Am. So it was where AMs would come out and play. So it's a little less of a serious event, in my opinion. But that's Michael Kim. I could see winning this week. His game is trended in the right direction. He had a great year last year. And then my one and done pick is Harry Hall. So the big man is going to win something this year. And I've grown to enjoy him. At first, when I saw him, I'm like, I don't really like this guy. He's kind of gives me a weird rugby vibe. But at this point, I've grown to like Harry Hall and enjoy watching him play.
if he was from America and the same person, I don't think I'd like him. But since he's from Europe and who he is, I like him. That's
See, I have the exact opposite feeling. If he was from America, I think I would like him even more. Like, I don't know. He's just this big brutish dude. Like, you rarely see a guy built like that from America that ends up playing professional golf. So maybe that's more why I like him.
Okay. Love it. Love it. All right. Well, let's wrap this Wednesday episode up with a WTF Wednesday, one of our favorite segments of the week. I'll let you kick it off this week. I feel like I always kick it off, but I'll let you kick it off with the WTF Wednesday.
Okay. So my WTF Wednesday is I bought Missy these. She's an avid Harry Potter fan, so I bought her these bookends for Christmas. They're super cool. It's basically two ends of the train that obviously Harry Potter rides on. So the actual ends of the train, but in the middle there's a castle. It's a very cool setup. But I ordered it from this Bradford Exchange online, and I just want to bring some awareness to the way these people run their business, because it is shisty as fuck. Like, I thought I was buying these book stops or bookends, and it said $90. I'm like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Nowhere it goes, oh, this is a subscription so they
bookends for life.
Yeah, no, dead ass. Like, so the first one comes in, this is a month and a half ago, obviously before Christmas. So the first one was $90. It's one piece. It's the end of the train. I'm like, so now they're going to charge me. And then the rest are $100. So I've got $300 fucking bookends. And then just yesterday, I go to the mailroom and I have another one. They're sending me Slytherin and fucking Hufflepuff bookends, and they're collectibles, I guess. So I called their customer service, and the lady, not great English, whatever. It was a little bit of a language barrier there. Based in Illinois, I'm sure. And she's trying to sell me on keeping this book. I'm like, because it says 365-day return policy, no questions asked, your money back. I'm like, I would like to return this and get my money, because they just charge you. Like, they're like, it was, and they put in the note, it was smart of you to let us charge your card for $100 for this collectible. Like, it was smart of you to prepay for this collectible. I'm like, you got to be out your goddamn mind. So she's going back and forth. She's like, oh, you know that with the other piece of the collectible, they're more valuable, so you don't want the other piece? I'm like, no, I didn't want this piece to begin with. So there's some subscription out there that they just keep hawking money from people that I guarantee you don't even pay attention. They just keep getting the shit in the mail. And then by the end of the conversation, she's like, oh, you can just keep this one. And I feel like this is kind of a sales thing too. So I'm like, what am I going to do with one bookend? So I'm like, fuck, send me the other one, which I'm not. I just stood on business. I was like, I want my money back. I am returning this. She's like, you don't have to return it. We'll just give you your money back. So I canceled my subscription. I am no longer getting figurine bookends from a fucking random collectible site in Illinois. But it ended up costing me, those things are $300 for like, they made out of gold or what? They are pretty cool, but if I would have known in the first place that they were $300, I would have absolutely not purchased them. So just very much sketchy business on their part. Bradford Exchange, fucking keep an eye out.
Well, that actually reminded me, my WTF Wednesday is kind of in that same realm. So Kylie was trying to buy me a golf, like a cup, a golf tumbler, essentially.
I thought you were talking about like for your nuts. Like,
oh no,
do you feel like somebody's gonna hit one?
Sometimes around my son, I think that would be necessary where he's swinging the golf club. But so she bought this golf cup for me that was like golf ball texture on the outside, like the dimples and stuff. And the package finally came. I think she bought it off TikTok Shop, and this is the package. It was 2 children's karaoke microphones. Not 1, 2 of them instead of this golf cup.
Oh my God.
Another shisty scenario. I think she got her money back and ended up, I don't even know what we did with these microphones, but they were legit like girls karaoke microphones. I opened them up and I was like, what the fuck is this? And I was asking her and she's like, I didn't order those. And then she was going through her TikTok Shop and looked at my cup, or what was supposed to be my cup, said it got delivered that day. So we did a little math and found out that that's what it was. But yeah, so I have two children's karaoke microphones, which I will not let my son use at all right now. So
why not?
waste.
You don't want him to rip some tunes?
No, because it's going to be loud, and he's already loud enough. And if he gets a microphone, it's going to be even louder. So.
Oh, and then he'll be obsessed with it. He'll always be wanting to talk in the microphone. Like normal volume's just not enough for him.
No, he's already got one little microphone that we use, and he makes noises into it. So we're going to keep those away. Maybe throw them in the garage and give them to somebody for a Christmas gift in 2 years.
Hopefully you get your golf cup at some point.
I know. I think it's dead. I think that hope is dead. I think it's gone. I don't think it's a real golf cup.
It's over.
It's over, pal. Well, just like that is over, this pod is also over. Shout out to all of you guys for listening. We appreciate it. If you're watching on the YouTube, give us a thumbs up. Make sure you're following us on all the social media at Big Drive Energy Pod on Instagram. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the American Express sprinkled in with a little bit of championship playoff football. Pray for Mitchell and I will be freezing our asses off at Empower Field at Mile High Stadium Sunday, with hopefully a trip to the Super Bowl for Stitty City and our Denver Broncos. We will talk to you guys on Monday with a new episode, recapping the whole weekend, recapping the American Express, our trip, our day at the Broncos game, how it all went. We'll be back to talk to you then Monday, 3 p.m. Eastern time. All right. Peace.